Two of the great ones that helped to create what we know as the Nashville Sound. T. Graham Brown.
No, I'm not going to follow him. No.
Yeah, the wheel spun and it landed on you.
No, sir.
You've
We're
picked
going to break. We're going to take a break.
You've picked an interesting song to do, in knowing your background, because you admit you grew up in South Georgia. You were very much influenced by blues and things a little bit off the center track of country music. And I think this song, I can't wait to hear you do this, because it just sounds exactly like something you would pick to do.
Well, Terry Choate picked it for me. I never have sung it before. I'm going to give it a shot. But it's a great song. It's a great song.
T, let's hear your version of one of Ray Price's classic songs.
I'll give it a shot. Hey, Mike, the intro's twice?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to be looking over there for you to kind of, give me one of these.
I'm as nervous as you are.
All right. Yeah, we were talking about this.
Good reason.
Mr. Emmons played some stuff from Mars, and so let's see if we can't both do it. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that. When the evening sun goes down, Lord, you'll find me hanging around. Oh, the nightlife, it ain't no good life. Oh, but it's my life. Many people just like me, well, they're dreaming of yesterday. Lord have mercy. You know the nightlife, it ain't no good life. But it's my life. Now listen to the blues I'm playing. I said the nightlife, you know it ain't no good life. Oh, but it's my life. Mike Johnson, yes. Sun goes down, you'll find me hanging around. I said the nightlife, oh, it ain't no good life. But it's my life. To be, yes, Bill, and the nightlife, oh, the nightlife. it's my life. Listen to what the blues are playing. Listen to what the blues are saying. Mine is just another scene from the world of broken dreams, and I got to believe that the nightlife, it ain't no good life, but it's my life.
Brown and the band. Mike Johnson, take the microphone. But number one, first off, that was terrific. What you played was wonderful.
Very much.
But for those that don't know, Mike, as great a steel player as he is, one of his all-time heroes is sitting right there at the table, the great Buddy Emmons, who played on that record
All
by
right,
Ray
I
Price.
think we need to stand up for that right there. To be honest with you. The master right there.
Yeah, Bud. Big E.
Big E. You know, it's like everything I tried to play there, it's already been played by the master there, and as far as I'm concerned, he's the best steel guitar player that's ever walked on earth, and that's a mouthful, but I believe it. Thank you. Let me try to play your licks.
Well, I was watching Buddy while you were playing, and he was smiling. He was nodding his approval. And it may have been because you're playing an Emmons steel guitar.
Oh, I just didn't have his name guitar on it.
Buddy made steel guitars. I was involved in
He
the
invented
production.
it. I mean, it's a lot more than just being a great player. I mean, he's just so much a part of everything that we play. All the pedals and the tuning. I mean, the fellow's brilliant. You know, I mean, it's just so much a part of steel guitar. It goes way beyond this master player who's played with the greatest jazz players in the world, and then to play behind Buddy Emmons behind Ray Price, and it just all the soul. You're talking about somebody there's more soul in his his little finger than most. So I'm proud to be here with him.
You weren't nervous, were you?
No. Me or T, either one. T, you wore it out, buddy. It's great, pal.
Great job, T. Really was. Buddy, do you play anymore? Do you make any records or?
No, I quit playing in 2007. My wife passed away, and I had, at that particular time, I had plans to cut down on my session work and maybe work 2 or 3 steel guitar shows they hold each year. And we had a few things we could sell, instructional material and things like that. So it gave us a chance for a vacation and pick up a little Walmart money and or wherever
What do you
they let us
remember
in.
about your years playing with Ray Price, touring with him, cutting all those great records? What are some of the memories that you'll never forget?
Well, I think the biggest memory I have that has been the strongest was on my first recording sessions with him. We were in, I think it was Columbia, the little Columbia studio at the time. It was on 16th Avenue. And it was one of those little intimate studios where it was like being in your front yard, your front room of the house, and just putting your amps and you could touch, somebody, and it wasn't isolated like they have it today. And I got to noticing, after second or third song that we recorded, that I was doing things I didn't know I could do. And then one thing that brought that on was he was about as far from me as Larry. And he was standing at the mic and the music stand and reading the words to this song we were recording. And when he got into it, he started gripping that that stand. I could see knuckles, white knuckles. And that brought things out of me that I never knew existed. And he was that kind of influence. He made me another player.
Was Nightlife your favorite break that you ever took on one of his records? Is it so legendary?
Well, it's my favorite. Well, getting away with it was, I guess so.
You played some things they wouldn't let you get away with?
Well, we had been working Texas before the session, and Ray brought the song to us one afternoon on one of our off days, and he said, "Let's work this up for this dance job we got coming up." And so we played this demo, and we learned the song, and he says, "I want to see how the crowd likes it," kind of put it to a test. And I guess I was asked to do the intro. And I was into appreciate jazz music at the time. And this one little chord progression or set of chords was one of my favorite. And they used to use them between first and second verses, anything to break the monotony of the sound of the same chords. And I couldn't think of an intro until I thought of those chords. I said, well, I've never heard those chords except in the middle of the song. I wonder how they'd work for an intro. And so we worked it up, intro and everything. I used those chords. And we started playing it on all the dances before our next recording session. And when it came time to record it, Don Law asked, what are we going to do next? And Ray said, Nightlife. And I said, oh, boy. And I didn't know if I had the nerve to try to record those chords. And it wasn't a time in country music when those particular chords were.
You mean you hadn't heard them on the Opry yet?
No. They definitely weren't on the Opry. Well, anyway, in fact, they had to learn. I think Ray had 2 or 3 of his road musicians on the session, myself included. So that way we could play the song, and whoever was left had to mark it down, and take the numbers or do whatever, and learn the song that way.
Well, man, you have left such an indelible mark on this business, on all of our lives with what you've played. And when they write the history of the steel guitar, your picture should be on the cover. Great Buddy Emmons, Janie Price, everybody. We're paying tribute to Ray Price. We're going to take a break and we'll be back.